watching The Self-Made Men on YouTube. I'm my parents' only child, and when I was born, I was their only daughter. I'm proud to say that I'm now their only son. I grew up in a very open, liberal household. My mom worked for nonprofit women's groups when I was young, and many of the women she worked with were lesbians. I was also taught that everyone is important and worth respecting, so I didn't grow up with a negative image of the LGBT community, or anyone for that matter. I never felt comfortable with the girly clothes I was dressed in as a toddler, so when I was 3 years old, I apparently told my mom, no more dresses. When my parents asked me what I wanted for my 6th birthday, I asked for a haircut, and I've kept it short ever since. I dealt with a lot of bullying, in elementary school specifically. I would go to the bathroom and be shouted at by the other girls in there, simply because my gender expression didn't match what they knew to be a girl. By the time I was in middle school, I knew I was attracted to girls, but I didn't want to tell people about it because I felt as though my feelings weren't out of the ordinary. After all, we live in a society where boys who like girls are considered the norm. However, I did come out in 8th grade to my parents and friends, but I held some discomfort over the terms and ideas that everyone associated with a girl who liked girls and would now be associating with me. I met my first trans friend in sophomore year of high school. He was just beginning to socially transition, and I learned so much about what it meant to be trans from him. And the more I hung out with him, the more I thought that maybe I was trans. I came out to myself at the end of 10th grade, but I kept it just for me until my senior year of high school. In the winter of my senior year, I was in a performing arts class where we were doing a Shakespeare unit. My director liked to push my buttons and force me out of my comfort zone a lot, and so he had assigned me the role of Lady Macduff from Macbeth in a scene where she just found out her husband had left her and her son to be killed. The night before I was supposed to perform my scene for class, I was frantically searching for a costume in my house. Having no feminine clothes myself, I was raiding my mom's closet for something, anything. She found me hyperventilating over a floral bathrobe at midnight on a school night, and she just looked at me and said, "This isn't about the costume, we need to talk." I told her that night, but it probably took me an hour to get it out. She just kind of breathed a sigh of relief when I finally told her and said, "Thank God, I thought it was something serious like cancer." I didn't tell anyone else except my director in my midterm essay until I had graduated high school. By that point, I was dating a wonderful girl who I'd been friends with for years. I told her after a few months of dating because I wanted to be honest with her about who I was. She was my #1 supporter and was open to everything I threw at her after that. I began seeing a therapist in December of 2010 and came out to my dad and the rest of my friends that winter. I began hormones in August 2011, so just a year ago. I've had an incredible support network and great health professionals along the way. Currently, I'm a junior at Nazareth College studying psychology with a minor in women and gender studies. I work on campus as a student health educator and volunteer for the Gay Alliance of Genesee Valley on their Speakers Bureau. I work for the Self-Made Men, doing all that I can to get our name out there and promote transgender equality. Thank you for watching The Self-Made Men on YouTube. Did a really cheesy smile afterwards.